Electroheads, Eilis here, and I have with me today the Volt London, a beautifully simple but smart, award-winning single-speed electric bike. And we're going to be taking a closer look at it today, and I'm going to be highlighting 5 of my favourite features about this bike that makes it one of the best commuter e-bikes out there in the market currently. However, before we go any further, if you love to keep up to date with all the latest electric rides, electric vehicles, well, Electroheads is the YouTube channel to subscribe to, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss another Electroheads video in your future life. Simple, right? If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that electric bikes are my #1 mode of transport. And if you're like me, then you'll have a few boxes that need to be ticked. Things like quality, value, performance, and a street smart design. And this bike encompasses all of that and more. But first, let's talk about something that really stood out to me, and that was the quality of build of this bike. Let's take a closer look. Currently, the Volt London is only available as a 19-inch size frame, which is about equivalent to like a large, which is for people who are 5'10" to 6'1". Now, just to give you perspective, I'm actually 5'10", so this really hits the money in terms of sizing for me. But rest assured, Volt have told me that they are looking into making an even larger frame and also a smaller step through so that it can cater to a much more diverse range of heights. Overall, I really love the look of this bike. They've really gone for the classic look here with the detachable front rack, which is very, very reminiscent of the sort of 1950s look. They've got that lovely aluminium frame, very industrial. You can also get an optional pannier rack for the back as well if you should need. I love the sort of the orange sport on the side of the tyres here. Now, actually, my one thing that I would like personally is I would like to choose the colour of the frame, but I think that it's subjective.
It's all subjective.
The Volt London sports a Bafang torque sensor with a SpinTech Bafang 250-watt motor system that delivers both power and precision with every turn of the pedal. There's no gears to this ride, just a simple drivetrain with Shimano single-speed setup. It also has Tektro hydraulic brakes, which give great feedback, and 27.5-inch puncture-resistant tyres. All of these brands I've mentioned, like SpinTech, Bafang, Shimano, Tektro, they've all earned a spot as one of the best around in the industry. And the 36-volt, 504-watt-hour removable battery is made up of cells from Panasonic. These are high-quality, reliable components. Volt claims a range of up to 60 miles, which I'll go into more detail a little bit later on. You also get a rust-resistant aluminium frame, a bell, a front rack, a stand, Dutch Spinninger LED lights, and a fully waterproof LCD display. Overall, the weight of the bike with the battery weighs in at just over 22 kilograms.
When I said this e-bike is street smart, I was not lying. This bike comes with triple security. So first up, around the back here, we have an ABUS wheel lock. So ABUS, renowned in the industry for being reliable and for being proper quality in terms of a lock. So you know you can trust this. And furthermore, if you really want to go the extra mile, well, you can get an ABUS chain lock and you can attach it into the back wheel lock itself, and that gives you some extra security. But if that's not enough, well, finally, you also have key fob entries. When you switch on the bike right here, you need to get your key fob out, pop it on the display, and then that unlocks the electric motor.
Wow!
If you haven't got a key fob, this renders the whole bike completely useless for thieves. Right, I think we should go for a cycle. Volt really stands out to me personally because they're a British brand and they really care about the design and the engineering and the manufacturing of their bikes. They are a family business that have grown into something much bigger. They've been around since 2010. They now have their very own assembly plant in Milton Keynes, which is basically just down the road. And they've also got a lovely showroom in London. So if you ever did want to come check out these bikes in person, then pop on by and they would love to see you. Volt have nationwide support, so if something should ever go wrong with your bike, well, you know that you can contact somewhere local and they're going to take it in and look after it for you and do any repairs and amends that it needs. So often people are buying electric bikes overseas, and that's understandable because usually they're cheaper, but the problem is when you do that and something goes wrong, well, you're kind of stuck. And trust me, bike repair shops really don't want anything to do with them.
Get her out of my sight.
No, I swear.
Buying this bike, it is a little bit pricier than some out there on the market. However, you are getting that peace of mind, which is really, really important for longevity and up.
Get a room.
They always say, buy cheap, buy twice. Well, certainly not with this one.
Volt also wants to make sure that their bikes are accessible to everybody, so they've even created multiple payment options, including interest-free finance, leasing, the cycle to work scheme, and even monthly rental to help you with the cost. Depending on your purchase route, a Volt e-bike can be owned by you for just under £50 per month, which is significantly cheaper than a Zone 1 and 2 travel card, and that makes my heart sing.
This bike comes with 3 different power modes. You have low, medium, and, you guessed it, high.
Off.
The difference in the power is actually quite noticeable. So low, you are sort of rolling off when you do start to pedal. Medium, it is really taking a bit more of the weight off of the bike for you. And at high, it does a lovely quick escape at the traffic lights. I personally love to ride at medium or high because I quite like to sort of just like shock people who I'm next to, like, oh my God, that's an electric bike. She's just sped off right in front of me. That's right, bye losers. And all the cars are like, whoa, where did she go? Yeah, I'm gone, see ya. This electric bike is very different to a lot of bikes out there because it is single speed. Now, you might be asking, single speed? Does that cater to hills or different kind of terrain? Yes, it does. I actually took it up a hill this morning. I've actually filmed that on my commute over here and it handled it absolutely beautifully. You genuinely don't miss the gears at all. It doesn't need it because originally when you had a single speed with what I like to call an analog bike, you really did feel like you had to put in the work if you're going up hills, but because you've got the electric assistance, that really takes away all those qualms for you, so you can just enjoy the ride. And because you've got torque sensoring as well, which is something that the more expensive bikes have, so it basically feels the amount of pressure that you are pushing down on the pedal and the crank responds. And so it really feels like the more you push, the more power it gives, the less you push, the less it gives. And so it really has that natural feel to it. So in terms of power and in terms of does this take the weight off of you, this is quite a heavy bike. And if you do have it in medium or high, it really does take the weight of the bike off. And it is a very enjoyable ride and you really don't break a sweat. So if you're looking for an electric bike that is doing a bit of the work for you, this is a really fantastic option, even though it's single speed. That's right, you heard it from me.
For hills and standing starts, or should you need to just walk along with your bike, there's a nifty boost lever under the LCD display. Use this temporarily to enter power mode for extra assistance.
Let's quickly talk about brakes. So as you know, we have hydraulic brakes on this one. And I think hydraulic is actually just an absolute necessity when you're riding around cities because you need that ability to do an emergency brake. Now I'm going to quickly demonstrate it now. Ready? I even had a skid there, my God. Decent, it's really decent. I'm going to mark it like a 8 out of 10 for brakes. That's the thing now. And also, when I do car reviews, we always have a common question that comes up from our viewers, which is, can you test the horn? Well, why don't we start doing it for electric bikes? How's the bell on this guy? Let's have a listen. Oh, strong. It's really high-pitched, but you can hear it coming a mile off. It's got a beautiful resonance to the ding. I'm gonna give that a 9 out of 10.
I'm feeling a decent to strong 9.
And also, it just sounds quite expensive as well. You get quite a lot of bells that just sound a bit cheaply made. This, it's quality actually. I've just stopped as well because I have just realised after spending quite a bit of time with this bike, actually how narrow the handlebars are. You just don't really pick up on that, but that is quite an important feature, especially when you're in the city because there are a lot of little narrow gaps that you usually need to squeeze through, so that is perfect for that. But also, tyres. They're a bit chunkier and they are quite large, which means that you are getting a lot more stability. It's easier to get up to faster speeds and you have more contact with the tarmac, which means that you are far more agile and you can just be at one with the tarmac, which is exactly what you need to be when you're riding around cities. Speaking of which, let's continue. So Volt claim that this bike is able to cover 60 miles and that's in low mode and doing fairly flat terrain. But what we found testing it is that when we took it on sort of different terrain, using different levels of power, it's a little bit more like 30 to 40 miles, and that is in slightly warmer climates, but British climates, so maybe about like 20 degrees or something. So that's something to bear in mind. It does completely change depending on the weight of the rider, the terrain that you're on, the temperature, because that does affect the performance of the battery. So something to bear in mind, but 30, 40 miles is plenty for me. Don't know about you, let me know in the comments. Is that enough for you?
Perhaps.
We all know that e-bikes are huge time savers when it comes to the commute itself, but us commuters, us workaholics, we just haven't really got much time in general, do we? So we don't need a bike that is really high maintenance. Well, this, incredibly low maintenance because it has no gears. So there's way less parts to this bike that you need to manage and take care of. Of course, you do have that single chain, which you do need to lube. But apart from that, that's kind of all you really need to do because there's no derailleur, there's no gear maintenance, no gear cables that you need to be taking care of. So this is a bike that will last you a good long time. Just keep the chain happy, and that's pretty much all you need to do. And of course, pump up the tyres every now and again, very important. There's also a lot to be said about the overall practicality of this bike. You've got the front rack for your cargo, you've also got the optional pannier rack for the back as well, so plenty of carrying options there. It's also brilliant on different kinds of terrain, it's really got a lovely punchy motor, and it's got a durable battery that really does go the distance, and it's also removable, so you can charge on the go in your office, up 3 flights of stairs to your flat. The options are there, which makes it, in my eyes, a really fantastic contender for the city and all the commuting needs that you may have. Let's talk money. How much does this bike cost? Well, it costs exactly £2,199. Now, yes, I know, it's not cheap, and there are definitely cheaper e-bikes out there on the market, but this does come with 2 years warranty. You also get professional assembly, and it gets delivered to a local collection point wherever is closest to you. And don't forget, you're buying a bike here that is built from the ground up here in the UK. There are nationwide sites that are there to support you should you ever need help with the bike, any repairs, any servicing, and it's a quality bike as well. This thing is going to last you a long, long time, and if you ever need to switch out that battery, all you need to do is replace it with a new one. So my thoughts, if you are looking for a really good quality, fantastic ride for a commuter bike, then this is a really, really, really solid option. So that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd enjoyed this video, then make sure to click the big fat thumbs up because it makes me really happy, and it means that I've probably done a good job. And also, don't forget to comment down below and let me know what you think of the bike, or if there's any other electric bikes out there that you'd like me to review, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.